guys. Pak mana kat sini stop?
Masa dulu sebentar.
Okay. So when I keluar daripada lift tu,
Siapa orang?
Hi guys, I'm Nakia, the content creator for True Horror Stories POV. Okay, so for this backstory, I'm gonna share with you guys what happened to me for the cerita Midnight Jog. So, a lot of korang tanya Kak macam betul ke Kak? Nampak ke tentera tu semua? And then actually what happened? Kenapa Kak jog malam-malam kan? Okay, so this is why it happened and how it happened semua. So this story happened 2015. Okay, so this story happened I think 2015 because I remember it was like one of my most busiest period. It was the time where I think a few weeks before kahwin I got married. So that point of time tengah busy, kerja busy, and then tengah busy planning with the wedding, and then macam kecoh lah. And then most of the things for the wedding, me and my husband and my brother, kita DIY most of the things tau. So imagine lah, kita tak, kalau boleh tak ambil vendor, so kita buat sendiri, berkat buat sendiri, cut buat sendiri, semua, a lot of things kita try to DIY. So that's why I was very busy at that point of time. Tapi I remember as macam the date gets nearer to my wedding day, I remember macam, okay Nakia, you cannot neglect your health and also must look good lah on your wedding day. So that's why that particular, in fact bukan particular night tau, that whole week, I think it was 2 weeks ke 3 weeks before my wedding, I make it a point to jog. So my mum bising juga, cakap kenapa kau jog malam-malam ni pukul 10, pukul 11 semua. Then I told her, I said, Ma, bukan sengaja, it's really because I don't have time. Kan, tengah busy ni semua. Then lama-lama dia dah penat lah, dia memang macam suka hati kau lah, kasar kau lah. So first time jog memang takut tau. Tapi at least kan ada 1-2 orang betul jog with me. So macam rasa macam, oh actually I'm not alone. Memang ada lah orang jog around this time. So happy tau tengah jog. Second, third day semua okay, Alhamdulillah. Rasa takut-takut tapi after that okay. Macam dah jog sedap, rasa best. But that particular night, baru keluar rumah saja, buka pintu burung, padahal dah pukul 11 tau, 11 kot nak pukul 12 itu, burung bising gila tau. Like selalunya that point of time burung dah tidur. You cannot hear burung very bising that time. Just bising lah. So tu je kan already make me feel macam asal macam weird kan. Then I thought, okay tak apa, Nakia kau just making excuses, kau malas nak jog kan, so buat bodoh je, just jog je. So kuatkan hati, and I was thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna jog. So degil keluar jog. So I think kan that night kan, because dah tengah confused with the whole burung bising semua, I terlupa nak lock pintu and lock gate. And plus, I'm a very forgetful person by nature also. So macam dah keluar gitu, terus okay, keluar je. So bila turun bawah, tingkat biasa kan, tengok alamak, that particular night, the spot where I like to jog, kebetulan dorang tutup. Dorang cakap ada some renovation ke apalah, not sure lah. But dorang just cordon off that area that particular night. So I was thinking, alamak, is this a sign ke apa tak mau jog hari ni? Mana degil, hati masih cakap, kau malas kan, tu pasal kau tak nak jog lah, bukan pasal benda-benda ni semua. Degil lah. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna jog. So that's when I go down to the canal, yang korang nampak longkang tu lah. Memang ramai, a lot of my friends, my neighbours semua cakap that canal keras. Okay, tapi bila dorang cakap keras, dorang cakap nampak gula-gula, atau dorang cakap nampak kakak. So it's very macam those typical ghosts that you see tau. So when I was jogging that night tu, rasa memang takut lah. Memang tak ada orang that night. Tak tahu apa pasal that night tak ada orang, tak ada apa kan. I was jogging, I was thinking tak ada apa-apa nak kian. Tapi ada kereta macam biasa semua. So mata tapi tengok tengok pokok semua macam cuy-cuy sikit pokok tengok okay tak ada, coast is clear, tak ada apa-apa. So okay. So bila that guy pass by, I really rasa kan, macam okay, finally ada orang tau, I'm not alone. Dah happy tau. So bila dah jog gitu, sekali the path kat depan dia makin lama makin gelap tau, because lampu dia jarak jauh-jauh. So bila you lari terang, lepas tu gelap, lepas tu terang balik. So bila jogging kan, that guy is obviously faster than me. So when he cut me, dia dah sampai ke depan sana, I realise that okay lah, maybe dia termasuk, dia go inside the shadows ke apa, so tak fikir apa-apa. The second time he pass me lagi, I didn't suspect it's him. I thought it's orang lain ke apa benda. So macam okay lah, again I said, rasa macam the more the merrier. Rasa macam wah seronok okay, bukan alone. But masuk 3-4 kali rasa macam sindir gitu tau. So but then before that, a few times when dia pass by, I did feel macam ni sekarang BMT ke apa, macam ada army training ke, ada macam macam apa 24 route march ke benda, terfikir juga. Tapi apa pasal satu-satu kan, so macam otak macam terfikir juga tau. Then when it finally occurred to me that I don't think this is orang biasa sih, because firstly it's the same person that keeps passing me by. Footstep dia sama, bunyi dia, I still remember dia punya beat dia semua sama. Habis dia punya macam belt dia, I don't know lah what is it diorang pakai kan, tapi dia punya bunyi macam cing dia semua sama tau. So I feel macam I think this one sama orang. And when I realise, macam tersedar kan, I stop jogging terus tengok je. And this person, dia dah lari jauh juga tau. In fact, not even close tau, like jauh dia pun stop. The moment I stop, dia pun stop. And then when my hati, I bisik-bisik kat hati cakap, asal sama orang The moment when I said that, terus macam I see benda tu can hear my thoughts. Dia lari backwards ke belakang, macam nak tunjukkan macam it's me all along. Tu dia reverse, tupat, akak dah tak fikir apa-apa, lari dah tak ingat dunia, just fikir nak cabut, nak keluar dari sana. And pulaknya that canal, it's ke bawah tau, so I have to go up macam long, quite steep steps tangga. So that part I was like macam ya Allah, janganlah jatuh. Alhamdulillah tak jatuh lah kan. So bila dah keluar sana, ingat dah naik atas, dah selamat. But once I got up already, macam rasa lega tau, because okay, dah dekat tempat biasa. But tiba-tiba dengar dia bisik-bisik kat telinga, dia cakap sama orang. Itu yang rasa macam actually benda tu bukan kejar pun, actually benda tu already with me. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys know, like my previous episodes, I already tell you guys that hantu ni, benda gaib ni kan, actually dorang don't travel macam kita. Dorang boleh teleport lah, so called. So at that point of time when I thought I dah safe, actually dah ikut pun benda tu, dorang dah ada lah with me. So dah panik semua, lari. I just fikir ya Allah, I just need to get home. Kenapa rumah? Pasal at least I feel macam my mom, my siblings, siapa lah boleh come and save me, so called lah save me. Tu apa yang korang nampak lah, dah dalam lift dah paranoid tau, dah diri kat one corner I don't dare to stand kat tengah-tengah, because you know banyak cerita semua kan, dah tahu kalau naik lift sorang-sorang jangan di tengah-tengah, nanti ada je benda jump scare kau kat belakang. So I always make it a point diri kat corner-corner. And when I stand at the corner, I try my best not to look at the window, because pernah lah my sister ke siapa-siapa yang diorang cakap bila benda tu nampak, habis bila diorang tengah turun lift kat window tu diorang ternampak ada benda jalan ke apa. So dah tahu tau ni aku dah kena kacau, jangan cek pasal lah. So I purposely ignore that. Tapi bila dah sampai my floor, obviously kita kena tengok depan. So when I look in front, I was like okay, coast is clear. Like I said, I know benda tu dah memang ikut pun, terus dia pun jalan macam gitu. Dia pun apa ni, tunjuk diri dalam macam gitu. Terfikir juga nak turun bawah balik ke, nak macam mana kan. Dan fikir-fikir balik, rumah dah kat depan. Kalau nak turun bawah balik, where else can I go? Like I cannot go anywhere else, dah malam. So I decided, you know what, make a run for it. Lari daripada rumah. And this part kan, korang nampak kat video kan, dia kejar kan. But actually what I feel lah yang happen is dia tengah lari tu boleh dengar bunyi footstep dia dah memang kat sebelah pun, macam dia tengah jogging sesama tu. Tapi dia punya footstep tu kuat tau, macam very very close to me. I don't know how else to say lah, but I know that thing is memang dah kat sebelah pun. So I just lari, and because dah hati dah cakap kan rasa macam benda tu memang dah ikut sama. Sebelum masuk rumah tu, I make it a point to cakap bismillah. At least busuk-busuk kalau tak sempat baca doa ke tak sempat apa benda, at least important kena cakap bismillah, because at least dia will macam stop the benda tu from ikut masuk dalam rumah. And betul lah, Alhamdulillah, luckily I did say cakapkan that bismillah, because just before I slam that door, that night betul-betul dah tengah takut, I really slam that door tau. Satu rumah terus bangun kan, I boleh nampak benda tu memang betul-betul stuck kat dalam rumah, and dia tak dia masuk rumah. So that is my message for you guys. Kalau kena kacau ke, kena ikut ke, kena kejar ke apa kan, semacam mana pun at least cakapkanlah bismillah to protect yourself. Atau kalau lagi baik pun boleh recite ayatul kursi, that one is the best. Tapi I understand if you guys cannot ataupun lupa atau gagap or whatever, because it happened to me a lot of times. When this thing happen, you forget, like you forget, and then macam dah terlalu takut, your mind is not working well, not working properly lah. So so busuk-busuk senang nak cakap bismillah, insyaAllah it will be sufficient to protect you as what happened to me. It did protect me, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so that is it for the backstory of cerita Midnight Jog. Okay, and if you like my content, do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for those who have done so. Alhamdulillah, really really appreciate it. And till then, I'll see you again, insyaAllah. Bye!
I was in a cab with my daughter and my brother. My brother was sitting at the front seat, so me and my 2-year-old daughter was sitting at the back seat. So we are from Boon Lay to Bukit Batok. So the cab travel from the PIE to exit from the Bukit Batok road. As travelling at PIE, if you look on the left, there will have like hutan and a small road for bus 174. I saw a fully attired man with a helmet holding a sniper, and he was in an army attire lah. So he was running at the side of the road towards the same way I was travelling. So as I was looking, I told my brother, "Abang, tengok tu, orang army tengah lari seorang." My brother was quiet, but I keep saying the same thing lah. And maybe he was so annoyed, so he replied me, "Kak, mereka lah orang army apa?" So at the point of time, I shut my mouth and I know that he never see what I saw lah.